The weather is miserable outside. April, mach pas rêver. It's not even April yet, but I think today is a day to head on inside and watch some Netflix shows. Shall we? I'm in my loungewear and today we are talking movies. Some of the best German movies to watch for Germans, but also for people who are learning the German language. Now, before I jump into that, I have actually posted a video in the past about 10 of my favorite TV shows and movies that I use to learn the German language right from the beginning. So these are more like kids shows like Die Sendung mit der Maus, or movies like Friendship or Türkisch für Anfänger. These are all really, really good if you're just starting out. But if you're like, screw it, if I'm gonna watch TV shows and movies, they better be noteworthy, that's okay too, because this list is going to go through some of the most amazing TV shows and movies filmed here in Germany in the German language, but are recognized all over the world. If you ask me, the German film industry has made leaps and bounds in recent years. Of course, in the past they have some classics like Run Lola Run, The Boat, Das Boot, but in recent years they've created some incredible TV shows like my hands down top 2 favorite, Dark, and How to Sell Drugs Online. So much so that actually many North Americans that I know watch these German shows with English subtitles. Now, if that doesn't help you very much and you also want to be able to learn the German language while watching these shows, I've got a game changer. You can actually use a web-based software like today's sponsor for this video, which is Lingopie, and we've actually had them as our sponsor a few times before because their platform is next level. They are also integrated with Netflix, which means you can use this platform while watching some of your favorite Netflix shows. So let me show you for example. All right, so we're on the Lingopie platform, and I'm just going to go ahead and type in Dark because this is one of my favorite Netflix series. You can go ahead and hit play.
Martha, wenn du verhungerst, bringt das niemandem was. Mikkel, du ziehst dich jetzt um.
So it's just like any other Netflix series I would watch, but if you go over here, regardless of what level you're at, you can actually toggle between beginner, novice, intermediate, and advanced, making it slower or faster so you can learn at your own pace. And as you can see, every show does come with subtitles. You can actually go ahead here and turn on and off whichever ones you want or don't want. But what's even cooler is that you've got your own grammar coach here integrated into the system. So if there's something that's a little unclear, you can ask your grammar coach for a bit more of an explanation. But you can also go ahead and click over here on my vocab, and these are the words that I've actually clicked. So for example, if I add Kinder, it adds it directly to my vocab list. And if you think you're ready for the challenge, you can go down here and click Take a Quiz. Keep watching. And lastly, you've also got this little wrench up here on your right hand side, which allows you to switch between different learning modes. So you can actually auto pause if you want them to pause at the end of every single subtitle so that you can learn easier. And then you can also add this grammar index. And if you go down here, you see the grammar index. So here's your colors. You've got noun, verb, adjective, and adverb. And this is how they are differentiating these words, just so that you have an easier, more visual way to understand the German language. So watching your favorite TV shows while also learning a language? Not a bad idea, no? So if you want to join more than 100,000 students who are watching TV on Lingopie to learn a language, I will leave a link down for you below to go check it out. They also have a 7-day free trial that you can use. You can cancel anytime and your access is unlimited. And now that you're ready to learn and watch at the same time, are you ready? Here are 10 amazing German movies and TV shows that are totally worth a watch. Dogs of Berlin, one of my husband's absolute favorites. This is a crime TV show that came out in 2018 and was actually the second German series after Dark to be released on Netflix. It's basically about these 2 police officers who are investigating the murder of a Turkish-German football legend, which sends the entire city of Berlin in absolute mayhem. The potential suspects list is long. They look at the neo-Nazis, they look at the Arab mafia, Turkish nationalists, football fans, and the Berlin Mafia. And basically, in order to discover the truth, these 2 police officers get to go deep diving into the underground world of Berlin. Pretty cool. Next up, let's get into drama, series, and movies. Zeit der Geheimnisse, otherwise known as Holiday Secrets. This is a 2019 TV show about 3 generations of families coming together over the holidays where they start to discover some secrets of the past that begin breaking their family apart. The Empress, 2022 German TV series, in German known as Die Kaiserin. And this TV show is based on the Empress Elizabeth of Austria and was actually Netflix's second most watched series worldwide for 2 weeks. So it features a 16-year-old Duchess from Bavaria who falls in love with Emperor Franz Josef of Austria, which is the intended fiance of her sister. And this series is all about twisting plots, troubled families, and discovering everything of these perfect royal families. Next up, Deutsches Haus came out in 2018 on Hulu. It is a TV show based on a novel, also called Deutsches Haus, and is filmed at the Zoopalast in Berlin. It takes place in '63 and focuses on a young woman who was a Polish interpreter back then. She's in love, she's about to get engaged, everything's going well until she is called in on a case to be an interpreter, and this case she wasn't really well informed about, leading her to misinterpret what was being said, which ends up actually being the very first case on trial for Auschwitz, where former SS members are tried in court for their crimes committed. Now, despite the wrongful interpretation and not understanding what exactly was going on, she continued to be this interpreter, and through this, she also uncovers some of her family's secrets from their past. Then we've got Der Gleiche Himmel, the same sky. Came out in 2017. It is a drama TV show. It is actually only 3 parts, which basically tells different storylines about different situations that took place during the divided city of Berlin in '74. One example is when one of the Stasi from the state security starts up a relationship with a much older lady who is a British analyst in hopes to gain more information behind the Brits and the US Army, faking her into having feelings for him. It is drama. Another drama is Downfall that came out in 2004, and this is a historical war film, which is set during the Battle of Berlin in World War II, right when Nazi Germany is on the verge of defeat. And the whole film basically goes through the very last days of Hitler's reign, what happened, what they went through. Definitely worth a watch. Now let's get into something a little more easy and breezy. How about romance for y'all? One of my favorite, most cheesy films, which I could have possibly added to my other list of films that you can very easily understand if you don't yet know the German language, is Mein Blind Date mit Leben, My Blind Date with Life. That is a movie that came out in 2017, and it is about a boy who was just about to finish his Abitur, and then he found out that he was going blind. His eyesight continues to get worse and worse and worse, but it is his major life dream to work in a hotel. He gets turned down because nobody wants to hire this boy who has just gone blind. So he decides to lie on his resume and in his interview and manages to land a job in Munich at the Bayerische Hof. Of course, things start to get a little bit more tricky. He finds friends who help him kind of figure out his way around the hotel, how to do his job properly. But then he falls in love with this girl, Laura, who supplies the hotel with produce from her parents' farm, and he doesn't tell her that he is going blind and that he doesn't see anything, but they're so in love, so it gets so romantic. You just need to watch it. What else do we have? Comedy. Goodbye Lenin. Very, very interesting because this is actually based on a family who lived in East Germany before the fall of the wall, and the mother is dedicated to the socialist cause, as is the son, and they're at an anti-government demonstration where the son meets this girl and then gets pulled away from her from the Volkspolizei, and his mom sees it and she has a heart attack and falls into a coma, and then he meets this girl again in the hospital. It's his mom's nurse. But the doctor warns the family when she wakes up from the coma, which she does 8 months later, that she's weak and any type of shock or stress might cause her to go back into a coma. So what the family and the nurse, who's now his girlfriend, do is pretend that there has been no time passed, that nothing has changed. They go into their storage, they pull out all the old furniture, all their old clothing, and covered up all of like the Western food with old labels to make her think that she was still in her past life. I think it's an interesting way to make light of situations that were once tough. Speaking of situations once tough, there are many, many very good German films and TV shows that are based around World War I and World War II. For example, All Quiet on the Western Front was a movie that came out in 2022, and it follows the life of a young soldier who watched this patriotic speech at their school, and him and his friends decide to join the army, and then they meet one soldier there who starts to reveal the past information about how many of them were dying, that the uniforms they received were from dead soldiers from before, and just basically shattering his dream of being this war hero, and instead finds himself in the trenches on the Western Front. And lastly, The Lives of Others. It came out in 2006 but won an Oscar for being one of the most fantastic films of the year, and it is about the Stasi police monitoring the East Berlin residents. Goes into detail about the fall of the Berlin Wall, and was actually one of the first notable drama films about the fall of the Berlin Wall that came shortly after the series Goodbye Lenin. So if that's not enough for you, you can go check out my other video on ways that you can better learn the German language by watching TV and watching movies in the comfort of your home, snuggled in bed. And of course, please tell me, have you watched a movie or a TV show where you're just like, this needs to be added to your list, Jenna? And of course, thank you to all of you who submitted your favorites so that we were able to build this incredible list. Vielen, vielen lieben Dank und wie immer, bis später.